What's good, YouTube? This is Joel here for Morbid Nexus, and who do I have here?
Elijah Hamrick.
And what did you do this past weekend and before?
I was at YCS Indy and YCS Richmond this past weekend.
All right. And what did you take?
I took rescue. Wee woo.
Wee woo. And what was the milestone from this weekend?
So I bubbled out of top 32, made top 64 day 2. I lost to the actual YCS winner this past weekend, Joseph Thomas. Shout out to him playing the chain. Just unfortunate how our match went in game 3. So, but yeah, overall, the weekend was cool. Went out to Richmond with a bunch of friends. Just unfortunate though, like the day before tournament play, on my way there, like 30 minutes from my hotel, my tire blew. But shout out to my boy Ryan from the Satellite. On deck AAA, came out, switched a tire for free. So yeah.
All right, let's get into the deck profile.
Right, so the ratios, of course, played 3 of this, basically 4. Everyone knows what these cards do. I was on 3 Hydrant. Going forward, I will be cutting this down to 2 because like the way I play is like if I don't open up full combo, I play very conservatively, but interact very well depending on the matchup. Because like the format is so wide, and you never really know what you're playing into. But if you play a lot, you know a lot of what these decks do and what they're trying to accomplish on their end goals, or how to interact with your board or how you set up. So this will be going to 2. No more than 2. You should be fine. Of course, the double big guys. For a while, everyone considers about cutting this down to Turbulence to 1 and bumping up Prevent to 3, but you really just don't want to clog on these guys. And like sometimes your opening hand can be like double of this, and that's one of the reasons why I don't play the Ricardetto build with Durandal, because like Ricardetto doesn't do anything, and sometimes opening double of this and not a normal summon, literally you still brick. And what I find with Jet Synchron playing the full Synchron package, normal summoning Jet Synchron, discarding one of the big guys, summoning then activating Preventer, summoning this back, and like still having full combo setting 4, so you can still end on Barone SP that way. So yeah. And then of course the one impulse. This card was kind of like glued in my hand, but the way it was glued, it interacted with my opponent well. So shout out to Impulse, the 1-of, but one of the best 1-ofs in the deck.
I know some people were originally playing 3. It was either a 3 or a 1 situation. What was the reasoning in between switching from 3 to 1?
So YCS Indy, actually I played 2, and then I found that like 2 with Fire Engine really just doesn't do enough, and like Talents and Thrust, like this format is like insane, and like it's more prevalent, and like 1 is just fine, because like normal summoning this on losing the dice roll is like really good, because the first effect, like it literally keeps your opponent from activating their like boss monsters effect, so it interacts with your opponent very well. And then like the dodge effects of like monster effects or whatever, and it summons from deck, so it just gets the ball rolling that way. I really don't like Fire Engine. Fire Engine is only good if you play more impulses, and like this card just doesn't do anything by itself, so playing it at 1 is, you're fine. For the spells, you played
Oh god, yes. The best card in the deck.
Shout out Dincom Fam and Merlin for Euro Swaps, the homies from overseas. 1 rescue, 1 alert, 1 HQ, and double trap. Everyone knows what these cards do.
Yep.
For YCS Indy, I played 3 of this, but Richmond I cut it to 2. Going forward, I'm gonna bump it back up to 3, because like it conflicts with the Diabell Star and the HQ draws, but like sometimes consistency like matters a lot. Like sometimes like your opening hand could be like good, but you just always want like the extra 6 card, and like this just guarantees like you see combo or strong enough combo where your opponent has a hard time outing your turn 1 board. So this will be going back to 3. And then the Diabell Star package. So like I said earlier, I do play Jet Synchron, which will be going to 2, because like sometimes like not opening this up when you want to with having this in hand like sucks sometimes, but like it was fine for the weekend, but I just wish I always had like either drawn into this more or drawn into this more. So this with normal summon airlifter gets you Barone Savage, set for like 2-3 cards in your hand. You always have like 1 or 2 hand traps, so like your opponent's just like not killing you, so it's automatic game 2. For the hand trap lineup, I mean 3 Droll, 3 Ash, 3 Imperm. These hand traps are like, this is FTK against Vanadium, Infernoble, depending on how their hand is. It could be an FTK, sometimes they could play under this, but like having like these to come off, or like if you have Droll Ash or like Droll Imperm, matters a lot. So like these are like the best overall hand traps to like for this format and whatever's being played. Like a lot of my tier matchups this past weekend at Richmond, like auto lost to this card because like they would automatically go Pearl Rhino, or like normal summon one of the shufflers to Church, and it's like, all right, now you just get cooked by Droll. So, yeah,
opinions on Nib instead of Droll?
Nib is only good if you're playing combo heavy formats. It's good, but not mainable good.
Okay.
Nib kind of like defeats the purpose of what you want Droll to do. Like Droll just covers more of what Nib does, and like it's easy to play around Nib around this deck. So like if we have the setup with SP when Turb and we didn't use emergency, now you just cook because now we go Perennial and summon back from damage. So Nib's good, but you really just have to like play into your opponent's board correctly and just make sure they, you know what I'm saying, don't use what you think they have. So
okay.
For the last 4 cards I played 41, 2 talents and 2 evenly. Evenly overperformed this past weekend, I'm not gonna lie. Anything tier 3 and up, I do recommend playing evenly in the main or finding room for it. This card's literally insane. A lot of decks this format don't end on double negate unless you're playing against Infernoble, and that's why you play Droll in the main. But like any other deck besides Infernoble, like this card like literally shits on them. Like,
and then you just go to normal Hydrant.
Evenly normal Hydrant. Yeah, evenly normal summon Hydrant. They literally cook. They pick up the cards all sad, and you know, it's game 2, and it's like you side in more blowout cards to like interact with the deck and they auto lose. So these perform very well. So we'll definitely have these going forward.
All right. Starting with the extra or the side?
Side.
Side. Okay.
For my side deck options for YCS Indian Richmond, I played 3 DD Krill, 3 Nib, 1 Pinkertops for my monster lineup. Self-explanatory about these. This is widespread good against Unchained, Pearly, Tier, unless they like mill Godly their first like 1 or 2 mills and they have both shufflers. Happened to me this past weekend at Richmond. Nib, no explanation, and then the one of like Pank just, it applies a lot of pressure into a lot of boards.
It's almost like Fenrir, except like you can quick play it.
Yeah, and it's big. You know what I'm saying? It's big. I played against Mega Capital G round 3. I seen this, but I also had Harpies, and he misplayed terribly because he had Hugin in his X Monster Zone, and like I just Harpied him for like 5, and like he was like, oh shit, you played around that. I'm like, no, you just left this here, and I didn't interact with it. I didn't have to, so yeah. My spell lineup, Double Thrust, Storm, and Harpies. These were good. I didn't like them too often. They really only came in like for like games 3, like if I, you know, lost a dice roll game 1 and like it forced me to go game 3. But overall, this card was pretty good. I don't think I'll play it going forward. I just like want more board breakers, because like sometimes like if your opponent breaks game 3, it's like nothing you could do. This card's like a dead card, so like it's nothing really you want to set off this, but like you want these to interact with them like games like 2 and 3 and stuff like that. But they were okay. They were fun. And then the last traps I sided in was 3 Solemn Judgment. I think 100% you should be siding this if you're playing any mid-range to high ceiling deck. Like, it just gives you extra blanket security. Like, you balls to the wall and they don't hand trap you, and like you set this or you prosp into this, and it's like literally nothing you can do. You know what I mean? And like this secures you like matches. Like this card overly performed, insane, came in every match. and I will always continue to play Solemn Judgment as long as it's at 3.
Set 4 Judgment, that's broken.
And the last 15th card is Gaga Cowboy. This
Oh God, no.
We do play a time card too, so shout out Scattershot for burning for 5, but my boy says burn for 8. Take it deep.
I mean, we do like the attack position effect.
Extra deck, we played the One Mud Dragon, Barlow Savage, Barone, Dweller, Link Karibo. Shout out to Link Karibo and the Anima. Anima overperformed all weekend. I cooked everybody who played in the Anima zone. Unchained players, if they make Abomination and you play past the trap and then like double pop, so like, all right, now you have a way to get to a body on board. On level 1 Hydrant, you summon this and you just steal their Abomination and they're auto cooked.
Shout out to me for giving you that Anima.
I know, right? Shout out Joe for the Anima. We played the Link 2 Proxy F, IP, double SP, Ultra Charmers, like...
This man's rich.
Yeah. Double SP, like...
Did it come up?
Yeah, double SP comes up, like, especially like on the crackback, like, just... And the thing I like about this card, like, the way it's worded, you can go battle phase, put them on literally nothing, and then like SP this and main phase 2 and like literally just clear their whole board, and then like they're left on like 1 or 2 cards, and they're not breaking your crackback board. So
yeah.
Double Charmers, Hida, Dark, overperformed.
You did you dark any SPs this weekend?
I darked a lot of SPs. I darked 1 Dragoon. I darked Kaleido Heart, darked the Phantasme, darked the Vanquish Border.
God, no.
Like these cards just put in so much work and they're actually crazy. If you're not playing these cards, I suggest you get them. They're hella cheap and play them.
All right. Any more cards for the extra deck?
Yeah, just last 3. My 2 Link 3s, Unicron, Celine, OTK,
Unicron.
with the boy access code. Still one of the best extra deck boss monsters in the game. This card should be checked at some point, but it just guarantees you victories. And like having like my extra deck is all toolbox, so like generating 2 to 3 extra deck attributes in the grave is not hard at all. So like you're guaranteed like three good pops and like turbulence in this game. So, yeah.
All right, that's it for the deck profile. Do you have any shout outs, Elijah?
Yeah, shout out all the guys at Warehouse Collectibles and Card Games out in Indiana. These guys have made it very possible for me to like play very well. There's a lot of competition out here, and ever since I moved here, these guys have been, welcoming me in with open arms, and really good group of guys. Shout out all the guys I went to Richmond, all my friends back home, Satellite. Shout out Side Deck, Dallas.
Shout out Dallas.
Ryan, Tyler White, Rich Dorado, top 32, Chris LeBlanc, top 4, Hani, all the boys back home. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, thank you for the deck profile. See you guys.